So today we're going to be talking about glass build platforms for the Ender 3. Now in my case, I got the official Creality Ender 3 3D glass build platform. However, you can get glass pretty much cut anywhere for a cheaper price. In my area, I couldn't do that, so I just decided to order the official glass build platform, and because of me doing that, I officially get two different sides of glass I can print on. The glass pane has a rougher side and a smooth side, so you could just flip it around, print on either or. Another nice thing about this glass is it's 4mm in height instead of 3 like most glass panes are when they're cut, so that means it's a little bit more temperature resilient and shock resilient. But yeah, before I continue on, why might you want some glass, you're asking yourself? Well, if your printer is not necessarily level, or if you have been having adhesion issues with the older bed, you may want to replace it with glass. In my case, I had kinda all the above. My official bed was a little bit warped, so printing in the middle was kinda hard, or printing near the edges was kinda hard, I'd like to say. And adhesion was all over the place. Some days it would work, some days the build tack just didn't work at all, so I gave up with it. But one thing I won't give up with is this glass build platform. In the end, I do not regret getting it. It is worth it. Once I put it on there and print, I have got some of the most level prints I've ever gotten, and some of the most long and dense prints out of it that I could possibly make. Now some examples on screen. Here's a spider, completely flat and level. I printed it as big as I could on this printer and it came out great. Another thing that I printed out, which was a little bit more dense but I had problems printing it before in the past on top of tape, was this arcade button box. And yes, this is a bit of a sneak peek. I'm redoing an older video and making a past project a bit more polished, so you're getting a sneak peek into that. But as you guys can see, this printed out great. It's perfectly smooth, it's perfectly flat, and the parts just work. Now one thing to note about glass though is once you're done printing, your prints will just pop off right afterwards once the build platform cools off. Now I recommend printing around 60°C, but you can probably get away with the standard 50°C as long as there's not a lot of airflow going on near the print bed. But overall, I've been able to print on this without any kind of adhesive needing to be on the glass at all since I pretty much got it. However, I did notice some of the prints sometimes get stuck a little too well, and I did have to end up waiting for the print bed to cool off till it was at room temperature. Then I'd have to pop the platform in the fridge to get my print off. But besides that, most things just come off without any effort whatsoever. Now if that ain't the case for you, one thing you can do is you can actually spray the glass with some, isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle once your build platform's around 40°C, and your print will creak, pop, and just rattle right off the platform. Now I've personally tried that method too. That method does work, just sometimes it doesn't. It depends on what you print and how dense it is, really. Anyway, if you ever get the opposite of what I'm getting, which is good adhesion, and you're starting to get really bad adhesion with the glass, your PLA's not sticking to it, your ABS, whatever filament it is you're using, what you can do is you can use some salt water on the platform. That will make it adhere a lot like PVA glue, and it's a lot easier to clean up. However, if you don't want to do that, another thing you can do is gently rub the metal scraper on top of the printer that came with your Ender 3, and that will remove any dust that gets stuck in the little rough surface of the glass. And after you're done rubbing the glass with the scraper, not to the point of actually scratching it, just rubbing it gently on top, when you're done doing that, take a microfiber cloth, some isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and rub your printer glass surface down, and your adhesion will most likely come back. Trust me, I lost my adhesion, and you can lose the adhesion really easily just by wiping the build platform off with any form of paper towel or tissue paper. I recommend not cleaning the build platform with any of those. But yeah, besides that, I had pretty much a whopping success with this. As soon as I figured out why my adhesion went away, my adhesion came back in fold once I started doing those steps of cleaning the printer glass surface off after every print, as well as before every print. Anyway, to actually install the glass, it's super simple. You put it on your print bed. You can't use the official clips that came with your Ender 3. I think they expected you to do that, but those clips do not fit. Trust me, I tried. They just kind of shoot right off, so get yourself some bigger clips. Clip the glass bed onto your platform, and from there, turn your printer off and manually turn the Z lead screw till your nozzle just barely touches the glass. Put a piece of paper in between, and lower it down even more till the nozzle just touches that piece of paper. When your nozzle's right up against the glass, what you can do from here is loosen the limit switch on the side left of the side of the machine. Now this is the limit switch that you installed when you first put the printer together, so you guys should know what it is. Essentially, you just want to loosen it, raise it up till the button clicks, and then tighten it back on. After you do that, you can manually raise the Z-lead screw and move the nozzle back up, turn your printer on, hit auto home, and just do your normal leveling. However, here's a pro tip for you. Since you're now using glass, put the nozzle in each of the 4 corners, level it up using the wheels, and you'll notice the reflection in the glass in your nozzle, and you'll know when your nozzle's too close or too far away. So you can practically now eyeball and tell how far the nozzle is and level it without any piece of paper at all. So far, since I installed the glass, I didn't need to use any paper or any kind of shim to determine how far the nozzle was from my glass. I just do it by eye now, and then I print. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about when it came to this glass, how you install it, how you would get some prints to stick to it, how you would get your prints off, and how you would get your adhesion back if you were to lose it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave today's video off here now. DTPK signing off. Peace. After I did that, the device setup was super simple and straight to the point. I just plugged it all in, opened up the... But before we go and save this file and exit this program, I want to specify some things that could go wrong.